In the last half-century, technology has made remarkable strides, and during this time, more than 30,000 rockets have departed Earth for space. Rocket launches stand out as some of humanity's most awe-inspiring technological achievements. However, despite meticulous planning, things don't always proceed as expected, and some rockets deviate from their intended course, resulting in catastrophic failures. Join us as we explore 10 rocket launches that went horribly wrong. Number 10. SpaceX crashes. In 2006, SpaceX encountered a significant setback during the launch of the Falcon 1 rocket. The mission started with high hopes, but shortly after liftoff, disaster struck in a most unexpected way. The main engine of the Falcon 1 rocket unexpectedly caught fire due to a fuel leak. The root cause of this fuel leak was traced back to a seemingly inconsequential source, a tiny aluminum nut. This minuscule nut played a vital role in securing a fuel pipe fitting, but it had experienced corrosion that was invisible to the naked eye. The insidious corrosion compromised the nut's ability to maintain a secure seal, thus allowing fuel to seep out once the engine ignited. The leaking fuel soon came into contact with the fiery engine, leading to a catastrophic loss of pneumatic pressure. This loss of pressure resulted in the automatic closure of crucial fuel and oxygen valves. With the valves shut, the engines ceased operation a mere 34 seconds after liftoff. The Falcon 1 rocket, left powerless and soaring through the skies, ultimately met a devastating fate as it plunged back to Earth. The crash site was not far from the launch site. The impact of the crash was so forceful that the rocket's precious satellite payload was forcibly ejected into the air. The satellite component went on a brief and unexpected journey, landing on a nearby island, striking a shed located near the very truck that had initially transported it. This mishap served as a stark reminder of the delicate balance that exists in rocket science, where the tiniest of components can have monumental consequences. 9 years after the Falcon 1 incident, SpaceX, under the visionary leadership of Elon Musk, experienced yet another setback with their Falcon 9 rocket. The mission, a crucial resupply mission for NASA's space station, quickly turned into a calamity. The culprit behind this failure was identified as a defective strut within the rocket's upper stage. This particular strut was tasked with the vital responsibility of securing a high-pressure helium bottle. However, during the rocket's ascent, this strut unexpectedly broke free from its position. This event had dire consequences as the helium bottle, now resembling a high-speed projectile, shot out from the top of the booster's liquid oxygen tank. This unintended discharge led to what experts have termed an overpressure event, a complex occurrence in rocketry. In simpler terms, the overpressure event caused the Falcon 9 rocket to explode, marking a catastrophic failure. Typically, rocket designs incorporate numerous struts, each capable of withstanding substantial forces, often rated at tens of thousands of pounds. Surprisingly, in this case, the particular strut that malfunctioned had been subjected to far less force, approximately 2,000 pounds, raising concerns about a potential design flaw. This incident underscored the intricate interplay of engineering and the critical role that even the smallest components can play in the success or failure of a space mission. Number 9. Proton M Rocket Crash. On an ill-fated day in 2013, the world bore witness to yet another devastating episode in the annals of space exploration as the Russian Proton M rocket encountered a catastrophic end. The incident unfolded on July 1, 2013, at the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan, with disaster striking mere seconds after liftoff, around 10:38 p.m. What was initially a highly anticipated launch transformed into a heart-wrenching spectacle, culminating in the annihilation of the towering 17-story booster and 3 essential onboard navigation satellites, each bearing a colossal price tag exceeding $200 million. The footage captured during this calamitous event offered a haunting glimpse into the sheer scale of the disaster. Shortly after liftoff, the rocket deviated from its intended trajectory, disintegrating mid-air and igniting a fierce and uncontrollable blaze that briefly turned night into day before crashing back to Earth. To compound the tragedy, the rocket's cargo included a substantial 600 tons of toxic heptyl kerosene fuel, which spilled upon impact, instigating serious environmental concerns. The repercussions of this catastrophic crash extended far beyond the immediate vicinity. Baikonur, a town situated over 60 kilometers away from the crash site, received an urgent warning, prompting residents to take shelter indoors, close their windows, and effectively enter a state of lockdown. The situation became direr as public buildings closed their doors and the city ground to a sudden standstill. In a surprising twist of fate, the launch personnel who had sought refuge in their bunkers emerged unscathed from this harrowing ordeal. Furthermore, the launch pads, numbered 26 and 39, miraculously escaped unharmed, and the nearby structures endured only minor damage. Adding an intriguing layer to this already dramatic narrative, it was revealed that the Proton M rocket had been insured for a substantial sum, a staggering $128 million through the Russian insurance center. This catastrophic event marked the fifth significant setback in a string of failures involving Proton rockets since 2010, raising significant concerns about the reliability of their launches and casting a shadow over Russia's space exploration efforts. Number 8. Intelsat 708 Crash. On February 15, 1996, a significant and fateful chapter was written in the annals of space exploration as the Intelsat 708 satellite was poised for liftoff. This satellite, a marvel of technology, had been meticulously constructed by Space Systems, a reputable U.S.-based company working under contract for Intelsat, one of the key players in the satellite communication industry. The Intelsat 708 was set to embark on its voyage to the cosmos, perched atop a Long March 3B rocket, with the launch site situated at the Xichang Satellite Center within the borders of the People's Republic of China. Expectations were high, but tragedy struck just 22 seconds after the momentous liftoff. In the stillness of the sky, the rocket, carrying the precious Intelsat 708 payload, experienced a catastrophic deviation from its intended trajectory. In a heart-wrenching twist, the rocket veered off course, ultimately leading to a calamitous collision with a hillside. As a result of this disastrous rendezvous with the terrain, the rocket underwent a violent self-destruction that sent shockwaves throughout the world of space exploration. The repercussions of this failure were felt far and wide. The Intelsat 708 satellite, housing advanced encryption and communication technology, became a casualty of the violent event. The explosion resulting from the rocket's self-destruction was nothing short of monumental, registering an explosive force akin to approximately 55 tons of TNT. The magnitude of the explosion left an indelible mark, not only obliterating the rocket, but also wreaking havoc on the nearby village. The aftermath of this heart-wrenching incident was marred by grief and despair. Chinese officials reported an official death toll of 6 individuals, a tragic figure that was nothing short of devastating. However, this grim count was met with skepticism, as unconfirmed reports suggested a much higher casualty count. Some estimates painted a chilling picture of nearly 100 lives lost in the wake of this catastrophic event. Subsequent footage of the aftermath revealed a scene of utter desolation. The affected village bore the scars of the tragedy, with small fires casting eerie glows throughout the area, serving as poignant reminders of the disaster's ferocity. In response to this grievous setback, China's Great Wall industry embarked on a mission to uncover the causes behind the launch failure. 2 investigative teams were tasked with the solemn duty of peeling back the layers of this tragic incident and understanding what had gone wrong. Their year-long quest for answers yielded important findings. The primary cause of the catastrophic crash, according to their investigation, was attributed to a failure in the rocket's internal management and control system. This revelation was a somber reminder of how intricate and delicate the machinery of space exploration can be, and how the smallest lapse in control can lead to monumental consequences. The Intelsat 708 incident remains etched in history as a poignant reminder of the risks and challenges inherent in humanity's quest to explore the cosmos. It stands as a tribute to those who dared to venture into the unknown, even in the face of daunting challenges, and as a testament to the fragility of our quest to conquer the final frontier. Number 7. The Challenger Crash. The story of the Space Shuttle Challenger encompasses both triumph and tragedy. In April 1983, the Challenger embarked on its second successful mission, adding to its growing legacy. A significant milestone was achieved on April 7, 1983, when the Challenger facilitated the inaugural spacewalk of the Space Shuttle program, demonstrating the program's potential for scientific exploration and advancement. However, the narrative took a heart-wrenching turn during the Challenger's 10th launch on a cold January morning in 1986. As the countdown progressed and Americans across the nation eagerly anticipated another historic moment, concerns began to mount among engineers. The cause for concern was the plummeting temperatures, which raised questions about the integrity of the rocket's seals, particularly the O-rings. Despite these apprehensions, the Challenger roared to life and lifted off at precisely 11:38 a.m., drawing the attention of the media and the nation. This mission bore a special significance as it carried the first private citizen into space, Christa McAuliffe, a dedicated teacher who had earned the opportunity to conduct live lessons from orbit. Her presence had ignited the hopes and dreams of students across the nation. Tragically, the anticipation and celebration turned into profound sorrow only 73 seconds after liftoff. The rocket disintegrated in a spectacular and devastating explosion, shattering the dreams of a promising space mission. This catastrophic event resulted in the loss of all 7 crew members, including Christa McAuliffe. The nation was left in shock and mourning. In the wake of the disaster, a presidential commission was formed to investigate the causes of the tragedy. Their meticulous examination revealed that the cold weather had played a significant role in the technical faults that led to the catastrophe. The failure of the O-rings in the solid rocket boosters was a crucial factor that led to the rocket's explosion. Amid the profound grief and loss, another challenging task awaited. Researchers were entrusted with the solemn duty of retrieving the remains of the astronauts who had ventured into the final frontier. Those crew members who could be identified were tenderly returned to their grieving families for proper burial. For the astronauts whose remains could not be individually recognized, a poignant and collective tribute was established. A monument dedicated to the Challenger crew. This monument serves as a lasting memorial to their courage, dedication, and the indomitable spirit of exploration, forever etching their names in history. Number 6. The Vanguard TV3 crash. The Vanguard TV3 mission played a crucial role in the larger context of Project Vanguard, a significant undertaking by the United States during the International Geophysical Year. This international scientific initiative, drawing upon the expertise of scientists from various nations, was conceived to comprehensively explore and understand both the Earth and the vast cosmos. It spurred a spirited competition among major world powers, each vying for a prominent position in this ambitious venture. The launch of Vanguard TV3 was far from ordinary. It carried an air of anticipation and excitement that captivated the public's imagination. Journalists, with their talent for crafting compelling headlines, were at the forefront of this burgeoning space exploration narrative. The United States approached this mission with a dual-pronged strategy, with one branch led by the National Academy of Sciences and the other by the U.S. Army Ballistic Missile Agency. The urgency behind this mission was fueled by the historic launch of Sputnik by the Soviet Union, an event that marked the world's first successful venture into artificial satellite technology. The shockwaves from this Soviet achievement reverberated worldwide, making it a matter of paramount importance for the United States to secure a substantial role in the ongoing space race. Regrettably, the date of December 3, 1957, would not bring the success that the United States had eagerly anticipated. As Vanguard TV3 soared into the skies, it managed to achieve a mere 4 feet of altitude before experiencing a catastrophic engine failure. This dramatic turn of events led to the rocket deviating from its intended trajectory and plummeting back to the launch pad, creating a fiery explosion that left spectators stunned. In the aftermath of this dramatic failure, the media humorously coined the unfortunate rocket as Flopnik and Kaputnik, playfully drawing parallels with its more successful Soviet counterpart, Sputnik. While the Vanguard satellite, symbolizing the aspirations of a nation, was eventually recovered, the damage it sustained during this ill-fated launch proved to be insurmountable. Today, Vanguard TV3 stands as an exhibit at the National Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C., allowing visitors to connect with a tangible piece of history. It serves as a testament to the audacious spirit of early space exploration and the relentless human quest to reach the stars. Number 5. The Apollo 6 Crash. The year 1968 was marked by historical significance and an air of anticipation. The Apollo program, having celebrated the successful launches of Apollo 4 and Apollo 5, was poised for a crucial step forward: the launch of Apollo 6. Despite being an unmanned mission, Apollo 6 held immense importance as it represented the second all-up test of the Saturn V rocket, a linchpin in the Apollo program's ambitious quest to land humans on the lunar surface. The world watched with great enthusiasm as Apollo 6 embarked on its journey, lifting off from the Kennedy Space Center on April 4, 1968. The sense of excitement and promise was palpable as the mighty rocket roared into the sky. However, what unfolded in the moments that followed was a series of unexpected challenges that would put the resilience of this grand space endeavor to the test. A mere 2 minutes into the flight, the rocket grappled with an unsettling phenomenon known as the pogo effect. This issue persisted for an alarming 30 seconds, sending waves of concern rippling through the mission crew. While the pogo effect didn't result in significant damage, it was a stark reminder of the unforgiving nature of space exploration. The challenges didn't stop there. Minutes later, during this fateful journey, 2 out of the 5 engines unexpectedly ceased to function, leaving only 3 engines to propel the colossal Saturn V rocket. The gravity of the situation was evident, and the mission crew grappled with a formidable crisis. As it became increasingly clear that the 2 malfunctioning engines could not be reignited, the flight director, Clifford Charlesworth, faced an extraordinary challenge. He was tasked with formulating an alternative mission strategy on the spot. The initial contingency plan involved making use of the service module engine, but this option was swiftly deemed unfeasible due to the excessive fuel consumption it would require. In an astonishing display of human ingenuity, determination, and audacity, Apollo 6 clung to the balance of space for more than 9 hours. It was a remarkable testament to the unwavering spirit of exploration and the brilliance of the minds behind this mission. Eventually, the mission met its fate in the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean, where the USS Okinawa, a landing platform helicopter ship, played the role of rescuer, retrieving the spacecraft from its watery resting place. Today, Apollo 6 stands as a tangible artifact of human innovation and audacity, on display at the Fernbank Science Center in Atlanta, Georgia. Ironically, and somewhat poignantly, the failure of Apollo 6 didn't receive the widespread public attention it deserved at the time. This was primarily because it occurred just 1 hour before the tragic assassination of civil rights icon Martin Luther King Jr. These 2 deeply significant events happening in such close proximity serve as a striking reminder of the coincidental and often intertwined nature of historical events. Number 4. Antares Rocket Crash. On that fateful day, October 28, 2014, an unmanned Antares rocket stood tall on the launch pad at the Mid-Atlantic Regional Spaceport in Wallops Island, Virginia. It was a moment filled with optimism, as the rocket was brimming with high hopes and expectations. The anticipation in the air was palpable, and spectators gazed skyward with a sense of wonder and excitement. The rocket's engines roared to life, and it ascended into the sky, its trajectory seemingly promising. But this optimism was abruptly cut short. Mere seconds after liftoff, disaster unfolded. At approximately 6:22 p.m., the atmosphere was filled not with cheers of triumph, but with gasps of disbelief and shock. The Antares rocket suffered a catastrophic failure, losing its battle against gravity and control. It started its descent back to Earth, and within moments it was enveloped in a colossal fireball. The brilliant inferno that erupted left scientists, engineers, and spectators alike in a state of utter perplexity. The promising launch had transformed into a nightmarish scene, and the question that echoed through the minds of all who witnessed it was a critical one. What had caused this catastrophic event, shattering their dreams of a successful mission? In a twist of fate as astonishing as the incident itself, there were no reports of injuries. It was a small silver lining in a cloud of devastation. The rocket may have met its tragic end, but at least it had spared human lives. However, the launch pad, which had been the stage for this fiery spectacle, bore the brunt of the catastrophe. Extensive damage was inflicted upon it, and its charred remains stood as a testament to the explosive power that had been unleashed. The consequences of this mishap rippled further. Not only was the launch a failure, but it marked the first such failure in 5 Antares launches. This mission, referred to as Orb-3 by NASA, was a crucial part of a series of 8 commercial resupply services missions, all contracted with the space agency. The payload was laden with significance, as it carried vital supplies earmarked for the International Space Station, along with spare parts and a myriad of experiments. To add another layer to the complexity, the rocket was entrusted with the deployment of 30 small satellites at a later stage. While the incident was a blow to space exploration and scientific progress, it also cast a shadow of doubt on the reliability of the AJ-26 engines. These engines, located in the rocket's first stage, were now under scrutiny, with questions about their safety and performance looming large. Adding a financial dimension to the disaster, it's worth noting that the Antares rocket came with a hefty price tag exceeding $200 million. Although the rocket had some insurance coverage, it was only partial. The financial ramifications of this failure were substantial, affecting the manufacturer, orbital sciences, and raising questions about the economics of space exploration. In the aftermath of this unfortunate event, NASA played its role as a responsible steward of knowledge. It issued a crucial public warning, urging individuals not to attempt scavenging for souvenirs or collecting debris from the wreckage. This caution was not without reason, as the ill-fated rocket carried with it a hazardous payload. Within its remnants lay materials like nitrogen tetroxide and hydrazine, substances that, if mishandled, could pose substantial risks to anyone in close proximity. The warning was a necessary reminder of the potential dangers hidden amidst the wreckage. Number 3, 1996. Ariane 5 crash. June 4, 1999 stands as a pivotal date in the European Space Agency's history. It was a day filled with eager anticipation as they readied their groundbreaking Ariane 5 rocket for launch, a momentous occasion marking the culmination of a decade's worth of intensive development and a considerable investment of $7 billion. Hopes were high and expectations even higher, but what unfolded was an unmitigated disaster, casting a pall over the space agency's ambitious plans. A mere 40 seconds after liftoff, Ariane 5 veered off course and disintegrated into fragments, marking one of the most catastrophic failures in the history of space exploration. The rocket's trajectory, reaching an altitude of approximately 3,700 meters, quickly deviated from its intended flight path. Within seconds, what was supposed to be a triumph of engineering turned into a fiery spectacle of destruction. The scale of the loss extended beyond the shattered rocket, with the cargo it carried estimated to be worth up to $500 million, underscoring the staggering financial consequences of this failure. In the wake of this catastrophic incident, an investigative board was promptly convened to unravel the mysteries behind the disaster. Their exhaustive inquiry revealed a critical flaw in the rocket's internal reference system, a software error that would send shockwaves through the scientific and engineering communities. The error manifested during the conversion process, specifically when a 64-bit floating-point integer was erroneously converted into a 16-bit signed integer. The crux of the matter lay in the numerical value itself, which exceeded the maximum threshold for storage within a 16-bit integer. This seemingly innocuous software glitch, a stark contrast to the grandiosity of the project itself, ultimately led to the complete failure of the mission. What makes this incident all the more confounding is that Ariane 5 was no novice's endeavor. It was led by experienced and highly skilled experts in the field. This unforeseen error reminds us that even within the realm of space exploration, where meticulous planning and rigorous checks are paramount, the most complex missions can be derailed by the simplest of oversights. During the rocket's assembly, numerous committees were put in place, tasked with ensuring safety, availability, maintainability, and reliability. Despite these safeguards, the Ariane 5 catastrophe serves as a poignant reminder that, within the awe-inspiring domain of space exploration, the line between success and failure can often be drawn by the smallest, most unexpected of errors. Number 2, the GPS RER-1 crash. In the annals of space exploration, the tragic tale of the Delta II rocket launch on that fateful day is etched as an unforgettable chapter of disaster. Mere moments after liftoff, this $55 million rocket, entrusted with the pivotal mission of deploying a new generation of U.S. Air Force navigational satellites, found itself transformed into a colossal, fiery explosion that lit up the skies. The stakes were astronomical, for the successful deployment of these satellites promised to catapult the capabilities of the U.S. Air Force's satellite fleet to new heights. As the shock wave of the explosion rippled through the air, an Air Force official sprang into action, commandeering the public address system to disseminate an urgent message. The message was as clear as it was imperative. Residents in the vicinity needed to find shelter immediately, shielding themselves against the potentially hazardous fallout of rocket debris. This swift and decisive warning played a pivotal role in ensuring the safety and well-being of everyone in the rocket's proximity. Residential areas bore the brunt of the explosion's aftermath, and the recommendation for residents was unequivocal. Stay indoors until the afternoon, when environmental conditions would become less treacherous. Taking proactive measures to mitigate the impact of the resultant smoke, air conditioning systems throughout the area were promptly powered down. While the Air Force assured the public that the smoke was non-toxic, some experts expressed legitimate concerns about potential irritants within the plume that could affect both human residents and the local wildlife population. The explosion itself was nothing short of cataclysmic, with its thunderous roar resonating as far as 25 miles from the launch site. Reports from eyewitnesses vividly described the sheer might of the explosion, as it possessed the explosive energy necessary to shatter windows up to 10 miles away from the launch location. In the aftermath of this fiery spectacle, a significant portion of the rocket's debris found its final resting place in the depths of the Atlantic Ocean. However, the rest of the fragmented remnants were scattered widely across the expansive Air Force property, a chaotic and unintended consequence of the calamity. Notably, this scattering of debris sparked minor bushfires within the vicinity, adding yet another layer of complexity to an already dramatic and challenging situation. Number 1. The Alcantara VLS accident. Brazil's aspirations in the realm of space exploration were nothing short of grandiose, with the nation aiming to solidify its standing among the key players in Latin American space ventures. Building upon the recognition it had already garnered in this field, Brazil set its sights on a momentous achievement, the launch of a colossal 20-meter-high rocket, a technological marvel valued at a staggering $6.5 million. The stage was set for an extraordinary episode in Brazil's cosmic endeavors, with the world watching as the nation prepared to extend its reach into the cosmos. Yet the tale that unfolded on August 22, 2003, was a stark departure from the high hopes and grand ambitions that had filled the hearts of those involved. Instead of triumph, the day brought devastation of an unimaginable magnitude. A catastrophic explosion not only claimed the lives of 21 individuals aboard the ill-fated rocket, but also wrought havoc upon a once imposing 10-story launch structure, leaving behind a somber tableau of twisted metal. The origins of this tragic explosion could be traced to the unforeseen and uncontrollable firing of one of the rocket's engines. It was an event that would reverberate through the entire community of space explorers. In the wake of the incident, the Marinho Space Center found itself compelled to cease its operations temporarily. Grieving relatives sought solace and answers, grappling with the heart-wrenching task of coming to terms with the loss of their loved ones. The tragedy cast a heavy pall not only over the Space Center, but also across the entire nation. The profound sense of sorrow and loss was palpable, leaving an indelible mark on everyone touched by the event. The launch carried the promise of a significant stride for Brazil, with an ambitious orbital range of 600 miles. A successful mission would have catapulted the nation into the highly coveted $60 billion annual satellite launch market, signifying a remarkable milestone in Brazil's scientific and technological landscape. However, the incident marked Brazil's third devastating failure in the pursuit of sending a research satellite into space since 1997. This sobering reality underscored the formidable challenges and inherent risks that accompany the captivating and awe-inspiring journey of space exploration, an endeavor that has forever captivated humanity's imagination. Rocket launches are marvels of modern engineering, and while they are often successful, it's intriguing to note that only about 6% of them end in failure. These mishaps come at a significant cost, with millions of dollars lost each time a rocket crashes. Thank you for watching. Until next time.